CFG Gamecast, episode number 247, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers that like to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode every week and release it on all podcast services, so do us a favor and show us some love by liking, following, subscribing, and sharing on our YouTube page, the CFG, or on our Twitch page, the CFG Games on Twitch. I am Mr. CFG Games himself, Davis Green, and with me today, I got my two awesome co-hosts. I got Lex in the second seat. What is going on, my cyborg?
Kind of, I think I'm sort of maybe done for a little bit with house renos-ish.
Nice.
Until we start, like, wainscoting and painting, like, we're pretty much there. I'm very excited about it. That's what I've been doing. I know I'm supposed to be resting my hands, but instead I've been putting holes in my wood floor by dropping my heavy tools on it. You okay there, Smitty? But I have a new party trick. If you don't know, this year Adam and I both got kittens. I had to get a kitten to beat up his kitten. Because if not, Jedzia was not going to have a fun time. So I found Chibapple, aka NC Chapel, my little Star Trek kitty. She's got 6 toes on the front, not on the back. And we have a party trick now. She jumps from high places onto my shoulder, or if I am on a ladder, she jumps on my shoulder, and it's a balancing act. We're pretty good at it. It's my new party trick. But if I go to record it, doesn't matter. She won't do it. The second I hit stop, she does it. So only Adam has really seen it, and now she does it to him, and I don't know how excited he is about that. But yeah, a lot of health stuff going on. No real big news yet. The 19th is coming up fast, and so is the 23rd, so I'm just kind of crossing my fingers, but that's kind of it. My curtains came in. I know, boring, exciting adult stuff.
Oh, I wouldn't even say exciting, but
yeah,
that's a stretch
exciting
in itself.
For
but that's
me.
fine.
I ordered them during the summer. Okay, they're lace and they're spider web embroidered. Hello, neighbors are gonna hate me.
Oh! I thought we were.
Even
I was
more.
like, that's very. Their collar looks very Ruth. What's her name?
Ruth Bader
Ginsburg. Yeah. Except the gothy version of it, and I love it. Now, if you make this the color of Pop's top and then kept the white embroidery, that's kind of what my curtains look like.
Oh, nice.
They're so cute.
It sounds like you're trying to make your house to be like the Addams Family kind of thing. The way you're describing how these things are like patterned with the, you said like spider webs and stuff like that. I'm just that's what comes close to my mind here.
But it's like, not like your Halloween spider web motif, like the same one that they all use, like copy paste. It's embroidered by hand, and so it's got a spider web, no spider, but it's got like Egyptian beetles on it. It's really pretty. At first, that's the thing you notice is the spider web. And then as you kind of watch it grow outwards, you're like, oh, wait, that's an Egyptian beetle. Oh, that's cool. That's, and it's very pretty. But it took 7 months for them to come. So I was very excited.
Hey, but Lex.
I waited a long time. Yeah.
You know who wears Dragon Ball Z pants the best than no other person in the world?
I do. His name is
the 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty in the third seat. What's going on, my dude?
Chilling, my guy. Same old grind. Just been working. Obviously playing Marvel Rivals. I've had to take a couple days break though. Like we were talking about before, I am on a terrible losing streak for some reason in that game and ranked. So I've taken the last couple of...
I'm sorry. Explain to me something real quick. What is the gain of just rank? Is it just just to say that you're competitive enough, or just to say that you're playing a good a person a good squad instead of just a random pickup group? What is your gain for me to say I need to play
rewards too. There's rewards and like just like status symbols essentially It's always been a thing with those and being able to get ranked and trying to, get top 500 or something like that. Obviously, I ain't getting there, but we'll try to see what we can do and go as high as we can. I mean, mainly, dude, I'm just having a blast
Okay.
playing the game and
Yeah,
it
I mean,
being
I'm
out,
legit. Yeah, I'm just legitimately asking because I never really understood. Like, is there something that makes the game better because you're playing ranked, or is this like something that because I mean the
It's
game every time I
competitive.
see. Yeah, every time I see it, it just makes it feel like it's like the game becomes pretty sweaty, you know?
Yes,
So it's like,
that's exactly
yeah.
right. That's
So I'm just
exactly
like,
right.
yeah, because like I remember how Overwatch, the whole group of Overwatch is just like the whole mentality of rank just kind of made people pissed off easily all the time. And I was
Yeah.
like, I hope this game doesn't do that for me. Is what I'm saying.
No, it
You know?
will. It will.
Okay. You're reserved
People
to
are
it
No
already
already.
hesitation at
sweating, dude.
all. Just it will.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that will always exist within a competitive ecosystem, I feel.
Oh
And
yeah.
that game
for
is
sure.
built for that kind of stuff. Again,
Mhm.
I don't know if they're looking to, I wouldn't be surprised if they look to try to build some sort of esports league or something, out of it. But I mean, I think it says a lot, dude. Like over the last 3 days since it's been out, they've had 10 million players. Like, dude,
Hmm.
that says a lot, man. Meanwhile, Overwatch is over there with like, I don't even know what their concurrent viewer somewhere in like 40
12.
is. 12,000?
No, just 12.
Damn.
Just number 12.
12,
I'm
just
I'm just
12.
kidding. I
Not
don't know.
12K, just 12.
Yeah.
So again, it's weird because people are like, oh, it's gonna be an Overwatch killer and this and that, and I'm like, you can play both.
Yeah.
You're allowed
Right.
to play both. You don't have to be like, I can't play Overwatch 2 because I'm playing Marvel Rivals now. You are allowed to play as many games as you like that you enjoy. There's no rules against that. It's just so weird seeing the competitiveness between the two games that are
But are
within
you
the same
surprised?
genre.
I mean, are you still
No,
surprised though? I mean, these are the same kind of
no.
people. Like, I mean, I'm not the people, but more like this is the same kind of deal of like system loyalists. You remember because even still to the time of you either team PlayStation or your team Xbox or the team Nintendo or whatever. So like
Yeah.
there's I mean it's always go and come on, and how many times do we hear in a Marvel Rivals about or comparison to Marvel Rivals that they compare the characters by default to Overwatch players or to Overwatch characters and stuff. So like it's just an inevitable thing. The biggest thing is the best way I'd like to describe it is because like you said, Smitty, is just that you don't listen to the noise. Like just still play what you want, and then
Yeah.
and then try
Do
not to
you.
compare it to it. Yeah, essentially, but yeah,
Yeah, and
it's the same
I'm
kind of
not
deal.
having an issue not comparing the two. Sure, there's some similarities and I mean, let's be real. Star-Lord is a rip of Tracer,
Mhm.
right? Like, there are some pretty, like, obvious comparisons. Like, oh, this is this character. Or Adam Warlock's like Zenyatta.
You know what? But it's funny to me because I'm like, now if Marvel Rivals decided to make a Star Lord with a Tracer skin and says, "Oop, hey, it's like the Cavalry is here," then they may have a case to say something.
Look,
but yeah, it's like guys, it's like
I
you
would
can't
get
do that.
that.
Yeah. I mean, you would have to get that. I mean, it's like it would be impossible to say no to that. It's like, come on,
That'd
man, that'd
be
be great.
hilarious, dude.
That is funny.
But yeah, that's what I've been enjoying. Those are the games that I've had time to really get down and dirty with. So I know I do want to get back to Scum. They just had another major update that released 0.96. I know it includes missions and things like that. So Scum is close to being, version 1.0 fully released, which is exciting as well.
Oh my god,
Who's
do
the
you
Zen
wait?
in Rivals? I said Adam Warlock.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
there you go.
He's got
that
a
tracks.
charge. Not. I mean, the biggest thing is like he's got a charge shot essentially,
Mhm.
but it
Right.
snipes like Zenyatta's charge shot.
God, dude, I cannot believe it's been this long for the Scum to possibly officially come out. It's been years, but okay.
It's been years. I've been playing the game for years. I haven't played in a while though.
Dude, that's why I just can't stand it. I can't stand the fact like when games do that, but yeah, it just drives me insane. But we'll see. We'll see. That's why I'm patiently waiting for Path of Exile. Rivals has got my fill for now. But when Path 2 officially comes out, then I'll go ham on it.
I did get early access to that. I forgot, dude. I need to figure out how to redeem that.
Yeah, do it. I'm actually surprised you would play that. It doesn't seem like something that you would play.
Path of Exile 2?
Yeah.
It's only because of dust.
Oh, okay. Yep. That's why. Okay, that's cool.
That's the only reason I'll even take a look at it.
Oh, he'll love that.
But anyways, guys, as you can see, it's not just the three of us. We got a fourth person here for our special episode of the last episode of the year. We got she's a writer. She has reviews for our website, at confreaksandgeeks.com, but she's also an awesome variety streamer. Does a lot of stuff for plays a lot of Sega games and Sega addict, one could say. Also a speedrunner, which is freaking awesome. I always wanted to do one, but I know I'm just not that good. But we'll go with it. You can definitely do it. Yeah, so we'll figure one out. Maybe if we hit a certain goal, then I'll do one in the future, but we'll see. But I'd like to welcome a friend of the show, PopNoTarts, to the show. What is going on? How are you doing?
I'm doing good, just a regular average Saturday in the middle of 2 charity events. We just finished up the Team Sega charity event over on my channel, and then I'll be doing some things with 1DF, and then closing out the year with my usual end of the year supportathon. So if you want to see some goofy stuff over on my channel as we do different speed runs, multiplayer games, and things like that, be sure to check it out.
Yeah, it's actually really funny. It's hilarious and stuff though too, but it's good. I forgot you just got a record in the speedrun. What game was it again that you have a record for the fastest time?
We recently got the world record for River City Girls 2 co-op in both 3-player and 4-player.
That is awesome.
Nice.
That's insane. What was the time? What was the time for that?
For 3-player, I don't remember off the top of my head, but for the 4-player co-op, it was about an hour and 15 minutes.
That's not
wow.
Yeah,
that's
about an hour,
awesome.
15 hour, 20 minutes. Yeah.
What's the average to beat that? Out of curiosity.
Average play time, just a casual playthrough, it'll probably take you about 8, maybe 10 hours because it's a beat 'em up, and you might be leveling up your skills and things, but.
Nice.
We did a New Game Plus run with most of the stuff unlocked, but when I was routing the run, I was like, oh, if you just use these characters, they all have a 1-hit kill. So we just used those characters and it just cut so much time off the run.
Hey, strategy. So I like it.
Yeah,
you got to do it. The game is about y'all trying to beat the game in story. Y'all have already broken the game down to a point already. So there you go.
Yeah, so we made a 3-hour run so much quicker. I want to say it was an hour 20. If not an hour, at least 2 hours. It's between an hour and 2 hours. I get the runs mixed up because in one of the submissions, one of our teammates died in the middle of the final boss fight.
Oh.
Like right on the final hit. So and it happened twice, so I don't remember the timing, but I mean, we got time on the final hit, but they were like, I can't really celebrate. I died.
It depends the way you look at it. It's like, hey, they took one for the team. There you go. It's like, there you go. But that's great. Oh man, that's awesome, man. Well, welcome, Pop. It's really cool seeing you, having you on as always. Or today. So that's awesome. But as for me, I know I'm just like fumbling on my words today. I don't know why. But as for me, yeah, I've been trying. So originally I wanted to do a podcast last week, but I just said I couldn't do it because I worked overnight. Then I did a 5K in the morning, like from work. Did the 5K. Yeah, and then I was like, there's no way I need to get some sleep because I had to work that night too. So yeah, I needed to get a break to reacclimate myself. So yeah, so I did that. The 5K was awesome. It was called the Cocoa 5K challenge or something like that. It was the one. It's like a hot chocolate thing for Christmas themed 3 mile run.
Cute.
And yeah, it was really cool. They had a
Did
really
they give
cool
you
medal
hot
though
cocoa?
too. Yeah, but I couldn't have it because of my diet. So like what I had instead was a banana. So there you go.
Ooh,
Yes. So there was no themes. Yeah, those are good too, I guess. Yeah. High in potassium. There you go. But yeah, and yeah, then after that, as for the week, I've been pretty sweaty on the Marvel Rivals, dude. I'm surprised. If anyone who knows me, I am not a first-person shooter person in any kind of way, or let alone a shooter person in general whatsoever, unless it has like a story or something that captivates me to decide to say, hey, let me try this out. And let alone a hero shooter is usually a non-starter. But I am loving this game though. This game is just so, it's like it just passes the time so fast, so easily, and you don't have to do much to get yourself like in on it. So I've been debating about going into competitive, but I wasn't really sure because my worry is that once I get into competitive, I'm going to look at this game more like in a more like, serious level, and maybe that fun will be thrown out the window. I don't want that. And so I've been just playing a lot of quick matches and trying to get all the achievements and stuff and so far, but I am enjoying it. I've only put down $5 for my contributions on it.
Same.
For it. Yeah. So yeah,
their battle pass works kind of weird.
The battle pass is very weird. The problem I have with the battle pass is that it is very specific. Like it's like there's also like certain scenarios that you have to have that they have to be in your favor to do to complete it. Like there's a certain scenarios like when there's a Hulk in your team, be these two certain characters so you can get this so and so. It's like, wow, so there's two moving parts just to get this one objective. So if you're in a quick match and you're by yourself, you have to pray that someone's going to be one of these characters, and I kind of don't like that. So so they need to be kind of like maybe say what, Pop?
I was saying that's so odd that they have it locked that way.
Yes, yeah, it's very that's what makes it a little annoying, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm fine if they're wanting you to change your characters and they're wanting you to try characters out, and then they incentivize you to say, get 5,000 healing points with this one character or the healers of the game. Fine, that's perfectly fine. Because you have the power to say, I want to be a healer. Let me try to get to that point. But then if you have to have another person that you have no control over to say, hey, you need to be this guy so I can get this to get this achievement. It's a little bit, you're working too hard. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, it's not a matter of like difficulty, but it's just a matter of convenience at that point, let alone that you're paying for it. So yeah, but the good thing is that you're not in a time crunch, because that's the thing with season passes is like, the FOMO of you not completing the time crunch during that certain period of time, then after the pass is done, then you lose it. You could take your time on this one. So I definitely appreciate that.
I do like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder if I hope Fortnite has changed to that model, because they just released so much in that just so much in that short period of time. It's crazy. Like, and I know, and
you grind it out though.
Yeah. Yeah, well, people do grind it. It's like pages. It's not like it's like 2 or 3 pages. It's pages of just content, like level 50 and stuff. It's crazy, but it's awesome. Like, do you? I know you play Fortnite, Pop. Do you usually do the season pass?
I haven't bought it in a while, but I usually just end up completing it just by playing the game naturally. Like, even if you don't focus on a task, like if you play it a certain amount of times with friends and things, and y'all are rotating different areas across the map, eventually you end up maxing out the battle pass.
Oh, okay. Right. But yeah, but it's a meaty battle pass though, very meaty battle pass though. So that's pretty cool. So, but anyways, guys, I know y'all don't want to talk about our opinions on how battle passes work in these kind of situations. So let's go through the normal rigmarole that we like to do each and every week. So each of us chooses a topic of discussion through the previous week. The topic would or could be a game itself or something that happened in the gaming industry. And we do not want to talk about it amongst ourselves. We want you, the listeners and viewers on Twitch and on YouTube, to be a part of the conversation as always. So if there is something that you're wanting to add or chime in about whatever we talk about, by all means, type it inside the chat. We will discuss it with you and go from there. Now, that whole rigmarole spiel is out the window because we are not doing any kind of topics this week. We're doing what we always do. This is the last episode of 2024 for us. We're just so we always do the game of the year, our game of the year picks for 2024. So we do it. Well, this time, no, I think we introduced it differently last year. But this, as always, how this works is that we choose our top 3 games of the year. You can make it whatever order. I don't think there's any kind of specific order that we can do that we have it in. And then we also choose our most disappointing game of the year that we played or that we think that was like, okay, this is good. So, but also, by all means, if there's something that you're wanting to, we're also wanting to see what what you yourself think is your game of the year, or the comments in there. So if there's something that if you have a game of the year, please just type it inside the chat, or also just comment down below on our YouTube page on the CFG. So let's go from there. All right, so Pop, what are your game of the year picks this year?
Yeah, so in no particular order, it was Metaphor, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, and Tomb Raider 1 through 3 Remastered.
Okay, so first off, I will say this. Okay, so it's to no surprise that you would choose Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, because like, did you platinum that game, or did you?
Yeah, I platinum the game.
Yeah. Okay. Not surprising at all. But like, what? Okay. So, well, first off, what makes you pick Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth?
Infinite Wealth just broke a couple of boundaries for me when it came to RPGs. First was the way they included real-time combat. It's very common in games like Dragon Quest for, you have real-time combat and the overworld where you can kill off enemies that are weaker than you. But when playing as a specific character, if you get his meter higher enough, you can swap to real-time combat, and the way it switches over, you can literally just finish an entire fight as if you're playing a Like a Dragon or Yakuza game in what people will call like the traditional way, or the non-Ichiban way. They also added some quality of life changes where his personality traits and what moves they go to, the different moves and classes that were available, and how the classes actually work together. So certain classes granted you different abilities that you wouldn't normally be able to get if you just, went a certain way. Another thing that really stuck out to me was the story. A lot of times when you have something where, in this, and they show this in the trailer, Ichiban meets his mom for the first time. And, the anime way is, it's a happy reunion. And Ichiban is like, oh, okay, like, cool, you're my mom, whatever. And some people were taken aback by that. It's like, that's your mom. You're supposed to be super happy. The dude's 40-something years old. This is his first time meeting his mom. Like, what kind of response were you expecting? And I felt that his response was very natural and relatable. Like, thinking about it empathetically, like, yeah, if I'm in my 40s and I meet my mom, who I've never met before, for the first time, I would probably have a similar reaction. And it wasn't like he was being mean to her, but it's just that distance is there. They don't have that kind of bond to where he's just going to be all happy and giddy about meeting his mom. He's just like, I'll protect you, but that's right? All there is to it.
It's like there's no familiar, like, yeah, I can only imagine. So it seems like the story sounds awesome. I still haven't gotten the chance to mess with Infinite Wealth yet. I mean, if it's as good as the first one, I'm looking forward to it, especially since my man Kiryu's in it, is back. So that's gonna be it's gonna be real freaking awesome to see. and then obviously, and then like a earlier too, Tomb Raider the collection. I would have coined that to be a game of the year discussion itself, and it's actually kind of weird.
I enjoyed
Over
it.
the yeah, because of it's weird because I mean Smitty and Lex can contest to this because I'm always kind of 50-50 when it comes to games that have been out and then they re-released it out in the beginning of the year, or they re-release it, and then to say that it's like out of all the new games that came out, this one was special. Like, so what made you want to pick Tomb Raider?
One, the Game Awards doesn't normally have a reboot or remaster category. And out of all of the remaster games, and this might sound a little weird because Dragon Quest also came out. I love Dragon Quest dearly, but with Tomb Raider in particular, it was one of the first like action platforming adventure games I got to play as a child. It's one of the games outside of Sonic that introduced me to 3D platformers. Um, and
So nostalgia kind of took a little bit,
yeah,
kind of brought you in on it.
There was the nostalgia factor. They had some really nice quality of life changes. Like you could play with the classic graphics or you can play with the remaster graphics. I think the remaster graphics look amazing. It really showed how far the franchise has come along. They have the tank controls and the modern controls. You can swap between the two. I preferred the tank controls. I would swap to modern every now and then. And just, I don't think a lot of people know this, but Tomb Raider 3 is my favorite out of the original trilogy for Tomb Raider. So when I saw that the remaster collection was coming out, I was super excited.
Man.
Because Tomb Raider 3 was the first one that I played, and it's near and dear to me. And I think they did a fantastic job with that remaster collection. And I look forward to, they have some more coming out in 2025. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, but it still boggles my mind for game of the year. Like game of the year. But fair enough. I'll give it to you.
It's my personal honorary mention. I mean, I could say Visions of Mana, but there were some really good games that came out this year. I will say, every game that I played, I enjoyed. I did not play any game that I would consider bad this year.
So there wasn't a game. Oh well, we'll get to that one though too. And then obviously, even though it's not ranked in any way, Metaphor just seems like the one that kind of screams out to me. Probably because I can relate to that one since we both played it at the same time though. So what made what made Metaphor the game you chose?
One of the biggest reasons being that it felt like Atlas finally recognized that they made other RPGs outside of Persona. There are tons of, I don't want to say callbacks, but it's so heavily tied to the mechanics from Etrian Odyssey, like straight down to the RNG of the game. I'm like, I was getting war flashbacks in some of the dungeons with the way the RNG worked. I'm like, am I playing Metaphor? Am I playing Etrian Odyssey 5? Like, what's happening here? The music was phenomenal. For those that don't know, I have my PhD in music. And I found the soundtrack to be extremely innovative with, one, the soundtrack is tied to the lore. I'm not going to spoil how because they tell you at the beginning of the game. Two, I found it very interesting that they combined several languages in the soundtrack. So you have the choir singing Esperanto, and then you have an official Buddhist priest that is chanting either on top of the choir or along with the choir. So that takes a lot of talent to just be speaking in a different language, 2 different languages going on at once.
Right.
And with this being the composer of the Persona series, like just him leaving his wheelhouse of what he's done before, I really enjoyed it. Combat is fun. The classes are a ton of fun. The characters are very, very fun. I loved a lot of the designs.
See, that's really cool.
The character designs are really nice.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny though. It's just kind of weird when you think about because I know Smitty was saying something about it a long time ago for the Game Awards about them not really kind of recognizing the name or the people creating the music.
Yeah,
in the back of the games. And just thinking to myself, I was like, yeah, it does take a special one to be like, okay, this is gonna be the battle music for this game. What are you gonna do? we need a Buddhist priest. Like, we need to come in and get a Buddhist priest.
Right.
And then
If
we
I
need
ever
some
get to
chants.
interview him, I want to be like, okay, what made you just think for these two battle themes, or just any of the other battle music, that you wanted a Buddhist priest, and you also specifically chose Esperanto as the language? Was this from your knowledge of the Etrian Odyssey games? Was this just something you wanted to experiment with because of the fantastic world building they have in the game, by the way? Like, what led to a lot of the creative decisions for the soundtrack? Because you don't think, a lot of people call it medieval Persona, which it doesn't feel like Persona at all. You don't think Buddhist chanting with medieval. They don't go together.
It's so odd. It's such an odd mix, but it is very fun. Okay, and your worst game? The game that you what was your pick for one of the worst games of 2024 for you? Or
I'd already said that I have not played a game that I thought was bad this year, but my community actually stopped me from buying a game that probably would have been the worst game that I ever played based on their opinions, and that was Jujutsu Kaisen Cursed Clash. I love to play fighting games, and I was just like, oh, this might be interesting. And it came out, I was just like, okay, I'll probably wait until they patch it. And then it was on sale, and one of them told me it would probably be better if I just treated myself to DoorDash for that day.
That is such a fun.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Smitty, you played that, right? Or you didn't play that?
What?
Jujutsu Kaisen? I thought you did.
No, I'm playing which one's this one called? It's a phone game though. This one's a phone game.
The mobile one. Okay.
Yeah.
Not the arena fighter. Okay, the arena fighter one I heard was terrible too. Like,
that's disappointing. I love JJK.
Yeah,
that's one of the reasons I was disappointed, because the roster seemed solid, and people were like, it's connection issues. Someone was just like, I kept disconnecting while playing someone who was on their PS4, and I'm just like, this is a lot of problems to be having, especially in 2024. So I left it off my list, and I probably won't think about trying an anime fighter until Hunter x Hunter drops theirs.
It's tough.
Yeah, I can't wait for Hunter x Hunter.
It is tough, I will say, because like being a fan of anime fighters and stuff, it sucks when you see your brand in that cookie cutter arena mode all the time. Like, especially if it's not Dragon Ball, or if it's not like a game that the Arc System Work makes or whatnot. It's like it's kind of it's very sad. Like what they did with what they do, like My Hero, the mess that they did with Jump, the Jump fighting games that they released a couple of years ago. It's just like, man, come on, just give me something different than just an arena fighter. I get it that there's like 35 or 40 people, but come on, just something different.
Speaking of My Hero, what happened with their battle royale is so sad. There was so much potential with My Hero Ultra Rumble, and it just
it's probably because
it's the community is super niche, but they weren't putting out updates in time enough to keep the thriving part of it going, and it just kind of just died out on its own.
I did enjoy that. Yeah.
Is it kind of like
mainstream?
Is that kind of like what Breakers is right now? Like, Dragon Ball Breakers?
Pretty much.
I mean, don't you think the common denominator is Bandai? I mean, in this case, it's just
like they're in there. Arcs is working on Hunter x Hunter is gonna light a fire under Bandai to do better with their arena fighters.
Or just stop doing arena fighter cookie cutters and maybe try to be a little bit more innovative would be great. I mean, because guess what they did when they got off of the simple process of putting an anime into an arena fighter with Dragon Ball. It's like that game was a smashing success comparatively to all the stuff that they've released. I mean, like, I'm just saying I'm not saying it needs to be a 2D platform thing. Just some sort of different variety would be great. One Punch Man as an arena fighter when you can't even be.
I don't want to remember that game.
Be Saitama, like it was just so weird. It's like you chose.
I don't want to remember that game.
These options, yeah, I know it was terrible, but that's cool. But I like the nice picks, Lex. Or I'm sorry, Pop. So there you go. Jesus, I'm sorry. That was crazy. But there you go. But anyways, let's go to Smitty. Since Smitty's making fun of me, the stupid punk.
I'm not, dude. I was just laughing. It was funny. Am I not allowed to laugh at funny things?
Oh, okay, fine.
Get out of here.
Smitty.
You get out of here.
CFG is banning the funny until further notice.
That's it. Stream's over.
Metaphor yet. If you haven't played Metaphor, you can't laugh.
There you go. Not fun. There you go. Show some respect, Davis. Oh, y'all are on their side. Oh, come on. Anyways, Smitty, what are you bringing to the table? What are your top 3 games of 2024?
My top 3 games for 2024. Obviously, I've got to put in Marvel Rivals, but it's not going to be my game of the year just because it just came out. Even though I've been waiting for it forever, and I love it, and it's good. To be honest, I really didn't play a lot of new games this year. It's mainly been,
well, that's fine. It's just the games that you played this year. What are your favorite game of the year? You don't have to be.
Shut up, man. I'm getting to it, you asshole.
Look at this. No respect whatsoever. None. Out the window.
Listen, you want respect, you got to earn it, buddy. Obviously, okay, so number 2, Once Human. I still love it. I haven't played it in a little bit.
I
love a good survival game, and they did such a fantastic job throughout the beta into going into the actual release. The only issue I have with it is their seasons, I think, are fucking stupid. How they break it out and like their events and things like that, and how like there's the Eternal Land, but like it's not like you can't really do anything in Eternal Land, so you have no permanent fixtures other than this space that doesn't affect the game at all. But I love that. I mean, it's really good, especially along when it comes to survival games. It has a story and all that stuff. And then for me, and I alluded to it earlier, but my game of the year has got to be Star Wars Hunters. It's so much fun. I know. I know. It is so much fun. Again, it goes into the hero shooter genre. Obviously, it's a popular IP in Star Wars. However, they don't use like the characters that you know. They use races of characters that you know, but we're getting different backstories from these other people that are a part of this universe as well. Like I said, right now it's only on Switch and mobile, but it is coming to Steam early 2025. The community, again, I didn't even know that it had a thriving community till that one day that we streamed it. And all these people came through and like we met like the #1 freaking ranked player. Like it was crazy. So I'm really excited for its future. And for me, I would have to say that it's my game of the year. It's the one game I didn't realize I needed to play and how much fun I've had playing it. I have, by the way, bought the season pass since I've started playing it.
Wow.
So again, for me to actually drop money on a free-to-play game like that, I think says a lot. And it also speaks to the frequency in which I'm playing these games as well. Because unlike Marvel Rivals, once the season's done, that's it. You don't get a chance to redeem your battle pass shit. So you got to grind it out pretty hard. But that for me is my game of the year.
First off, I will say that is quite surprising on your picks. I will say that I would have thought like I would never have thought Once Human. Well, I didn't even know you still played Once Human, to be honest with you. Like I was like, wow. I remember you were so high. I know you were really hyped before the game came out, and I know that you tried when it first came out, and then but I didn't know that you were still keeping up with it. That's quite impressive.
I not as much as I would have liked to. I have definitely fallen off on it. And again, it was just disheartening for me. I was like at the end of the story. I mistimed when the season ended for me on a server that I was on, and I didn't get to finish it. So essentially, I have to start all over again, doing all the story shit that I already just did to try to get back to the point where I was about to beat the game. And I just kind of lost steam after that. That's my biggest gripe about it.
Oh, well, let's go. That's good. Well, I'm just like, that is some really good. I mean, your picks are that. So it's not conventional from what you've normally picked in the past. And I love it. I definitely love it. That's great.
I've had some, because remember, I had Exo Primal that one year.
You did. And I don't know why.
I did have Exo Primal.
I still don't know why to this day.
Because it was so much fun. They fucked it up, dude. They messed it up with their crossplay. Like, that not being a thing was the dumbest thing they could have done.
Yeah.
Had that thing turn out.
See, that's a good one from Doctor. I mean, that's what I was thinking. Like, yeah, you're right. It's going to be forever, right?
Look, clearly it didn't age well, but they had a thing. But I said it from the jump off. They shot themselves in the foot with the multiplayer.
It was a year. It took a year for
them to properly. I know.
No. It took a year to fizzle out. It came out last year. I mean, the game. It's like
was it last year?
Yes, the game didn't even. Came out? Oh. Yes, it came out in summer of last year. It didn't even take time. I just love it. It's like,
did things and stuff, but the co-op was not there. They messed it up by not having true crossplay out the gate, and not only that, they'd be like. I couldn't play with friends on Steam because I was on Microsoft PC. That was one of the dumbest things.
That's a perfect quote that you just said. Exo Primal, we did things and stuff. Right? It's the best way to encapsulate that whole story of that game of that dinosaur shooting game.
I did not expect much from it, and I had a blast.
I love it. Yes. Okay. So
I would say,
I'm sorry.
What game is my shit game of the year?
Yes. What is your shit game of the year?
And it's not even a shitty game. I don't know, because I haven't played it, but it still pisses me off that they even did it. And that would be Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. And hear me out.
Wow. So you're going by straight up.
Hear me out. That number one, dude, it is way too soon for that game to be remastered. That is straight up a cash grab. This also came amongst the Lego. So this took away from the Lego Horizon Adventures. Because I think they came out around the same time. Or maybe the Lego one came out a little bit before this one. I don't know, man. This one just did not make sense to me at all. Again, Forbidden West is still pretty fresh in people's brains as well. So for them to go back and be like, we're just going to remaster Horizon Zero Dawn, it just felt lazy to me. It felt lazy in a year. And again, I feel like this is happening more and more, that we're getting remasters and remakes and all this shit. So for me, the moment they announced that, I was like, nah, I'm out.
That's interesting. That's
good.
A very interesting take. I will say, I would say, actually, I would have to disagree, because I think technically, in my opinion, I mean, no one's wrong here, but I'm just saying Forbidden West, the original Horizon came out when?
2017.
2017?
2017. Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn is 2017. If I recall.
That's 7 years ago, Davis.
Okay, I understand. Yeah, I do understand that, but I'm just saying that, like, that even though that they get from the ground up, as opposed to Last of Us Part 2 that came out that came out 2 years prior, and then they decided to do a ground up build and make it to PS5. It's like it's a little different, but then at the same time, though, like they're wanting, and then what they're doing with the, I thought a remake for that was long enough for someone to be like, let's try this new IP and try to let it grow, especially from how things are just out of sight, out of mind faster. I was perfectly fine for a remaster for it like that, the way that they did. However, if they charged $60, that would have been highway robbery to me. I don't know if they did. Did they sell it? Were they selling it for 60 or 70 or? I mean, you
there
can't
might
do
have
that.
been. I think they might have had the $10 upgrade if you already own the game. But I think if you were buying it brand new, it was premium price.
Yeah, because like, I needed to find out if someone could check that for me. That'd be good. But like yeah. So yeah. So I mean, I didn't really mind it to that extent because I mean, the game was a great. I mean, the game's look of it looked great. They're bringing it. It looks it didn't seem like now. If you asked me if I was going to go spend full price for it, hell no, I wouldn't. I've already beat the game a long time ago. But I think someone that's wanting to try to check it out, I didn't see any problems with that itself. So, but like I said, no, just my own opinion on it. But cool. I'm surprised. That's a hot take. That was a good hot take. Just as much as what it's in my worst game of the year was what was it they said that one year? Starfield was last year was my worst game of the year last year. That's how I remember.
I do my notables, Power World, and Helldivers too. Obviously,
yeah. I'm actually surprised he didn't choose Power World or Helldivers. That's quite surprising.
It would be hard for me. I would want to, but Power World fell off so freaking hard. Just because it became, well, it wasn't necessarily the game. It was mainly the person I was fucking with shit. It kind of took it out of me. And I haven't been back since just because how the servers work on that as well. Like, so like, I'm kind of disappointed that I haven't gone back because I know I'll have to start over again. And Helldivers too. I mean, again, great, but I feel like Sony completely killed the momentum out of that game with their shenanigans, which is unfortunate. But again, those games really stood out to me, especially in this space where, co-op games and games that we just didn't really see coming, or you might have known about it, but didn't realize how popular it was really going to be. Those two really stood out to me.
That's true. Fair enough. Okay, well, good. Well, nice picks. That's good. All right, Lex, you're up. What are you bringing to the table?
Well, my game, what I thought was going to be my game of the year, didn't release. They delayed it. It was supposed to come out in June. It was by Sweet Carol, which is essentially if you woke up as a Disney princess. And it was going to be a horror game, and it was a side scroller, and it's hand drawn. It looks amazing. However, it didn't release. It's supposed to come out next year. They don't have an official release date. You know what? I'm okay to wait for it. But I was certain that would have been my game of the year. My runners up. I know Labyrinthines had its official release last year. But I didn't get to play it as much as I wanted to. I've loved Labyrinthine since it's early access. I think it's a great game. I think what they're doing with it is fantastic. But to me, it didn't come out this year, so I can't really pick that. Poppy's Playtime Chapter 3 came out in January of this year. I had to go back and look because I've got like my years flipped. For some reason, I thought like the games I played in 2023 were this year. Anyway, Chapter 3 did come out this year. I did beat it this year, right before I had to go on hiatus, and I loved it. It was so good.
Wait, you lost me.
Mm-hmm.
So is it?
Yeah.
You said so. Your game of the year is it Poppy's Playhouse? That's the one. That's one of them.
No,
I just want to make sure.
I'm not there yet. That's my runner up. It's my runner up.
Okay.
Be patient.
I just want to make you lost me on what you were saying in your explanations. I'm trying to see which ones you were talking about. I'm trying to see it.
Okay. Poppy's Playtime Chapter 3 was released in January, and I did play that and beat it before my hiatus. Every chapter has gotten so much better. Did not think that was going to happen. So it's my runner-up.
Oh, okay.
My game of the year is Marvel Rivals. It's Marvel Rivals. I wanted Overwatch 2 to be what Marvel Rivals is. Obviously, I can't play games as much as I would like. Adam, his dream would be that PoE 2 is my favorite game of the year. But I haven't even looked at a trailer for it, I'll be honest. I'm sorry, honey. Marvel Rivals Marvel Rivals is everything that I've been praying and wishing and hoping that Overwatch 2 would get their head out of their ass and just be, and it hasn't. They messed it up, and Marvel Rivals picked up the ball and said, "You fumbled, we got this, don't worry." And it's just, oh, it's so good. It's so freaking good. I love it. I love it. I had so much fun. I didn't have any issues. Now, I did not wear my special glasses. I just wore my regular little guys with my prescription. So I didn't have my colorblind glasses on. I don't recall. I did change some of the settings for the game, but as far as accessibility, I didn't have a lot of issues that I don't think I had any issues seeing anything. Nobody yelled at me like, "What the hell are you shooting at?" I didn't have any of that, so that was good. But I liked it accessibility wise. I felt like the game was easy for me to play, easy for me to enjoy. The maps were great. I loved it. I'm excited to see what they do with it. I like that it's free. And listen, skins are a little expensive. I was like, ooh, if I was hurting for money, that would hurt me a little bit. I haven't bought any because I haven't nailed down who my favorite characters are yet, but to play at least because I want to go through the gambit of them all. But I mean, for having a free game, they're reasonably priced still, so I'm not mad about it. Now the game.
I will say, wait, before you go, I will say this though. Sure. At least they give you a chance to be able to earn the skins with the in-game currency, I mean, it's going to take forever as hell to get it, but you still have the chance for that, which I do appreciate too.
Correct.
Yeah, so I will definitely. Yeah, I think the way that they're doing their microtransactions isn't predatory, but isn't as predatory as what we've seen in the past, and I think that's the one thing that should be commended for, at least at the minimum.
Oh, I absolutely agree. Like, $20 for a skin. If the game wasn't free, I'd be like, "Ooh, no, what are you doing?" But I get it. The game is free. They're going to be working on it. It's a games of service, so it's they're constantly be updating and doing things. My luck, I'm going to buy a skin. I'm going to finally pull the trigger, and then a cuter one's going to come out, and I'm going to get real upset about it because that's how it always works.
Well, that's how it always works, yeah.
I'll buy a skin. I'll use the currency that I earned with all my hours and buy a second skin, and then my all-time favorite will be released, and then I'll be upset. But that's okay. That's kind of how it goes. I will say Killer Clowns from Outer Space came up real close too. I thought that would be my game of the year. It wasn't. They did some updating that I thought was weird. I don't know. I felt like things were off, so I couldn't put it. It's in my top 5, but it's not quite there. Still, By Sweet Carol, please come out. Please be everything I dream of.
Wait, what?
By Sweet Carol.
By Sweet Carol. Okay,
Disney princess horror game. Oh, cannot wait. My disappointment of the year is gonna surprise at least Davis. Don't Scream. I was really disappointed.
Was that the one about the part, like you're in the field and then you just get, if you make any sort of sound, then you could die and that's it? Wow, you were saying a lot of good things about it too this year. What happened?
Opie kept killing me. Or just her walking in the room and doing like light breathing. It wasn't even her like nothing. Just her light breathing got me myrtleated several times. I also felt like it was a little too repetitive. I started to catch on because originally if I'm not mistaken, I said that I liked that the music wouldn't just swell out of nowhere and you're panicking like, what's happening? Am I missing something? What is it? What am I supposed to be looking at? I don't know which direction I should be going. What is this? It started to do that, and I didn't like that. I'm all for, I want my music to go with my game. I want it to all tie in together. It needs to be just this beautiful synergy. And it was at first, and then it quickly wasn't. I just needed to play more rounds to discover that, they are going to do cheap jump scares. And they got me one time with it, and now they're just going to keep repeating that formula trying to get me to die, and I'm not, and they're getting mad, so they're just throwing more at me. I can easily beat the game if I, kick the dog out. But it just, I don't know, it just doesn't do it for me. I want more story. I want more je ne sais quoi, and it doesn't have it, and I'm a little sad about it. Will it at some point? Maybe. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I was just personally disappointed. But as we always say, don't have expectations for things and you'll never get disappointed. And this was the game that I kind of had expectations for, and it let me down.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate to hear.
Yeah.
That's just surprising. It kind of that sounds like something that I was actually surprised that you're like, I mean, I can't believe it's actually there for you, because dang.
Yeah.
Because I remember you were talking so much about it when it came out, and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, to say it's on that list on the opposite side, it's going crazy. Haseo says no Silent Hill.
I don't think play it.
She didn't play it. Yeah, she will. When she did, then it would have been her game of the year, because I know Silent Hill 2 was really good.
It'll be in my top 5. It's hard for me to say something will be game of the year if it's a remake, or if, I get to it 5 years down the line. I'm like, oh, this is my game of the year, but it came out forever ago. I don't know. Granted, things are new for you as the consumer, but I think I'll play it. I just won't be able to finish it by this year. So
it's funny though, because it's actually well, I'm like that too. Remaster, I'm fine with remakes in a way, because like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is different enough to be like, okay, you're playing, I mean, it's the same story, but the way that you're playing it in the like they totally ground up, just changed the whole style of everything and everything. Like, I can understand that. But when it's just basically a game that was like, okay, we're making it better resolution, more smoother planes and stuff like that, and then just boom, we're just going to put it into collection and so on. So it's like the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 the Marvel vs. Capcom collection. Like, I was like, great fighting game, love the fighting games, but to say it's the best fighting game of 2024, no. It's like the game came out in like the earliest game that came out on that thing was 94, so it's like no, I'm good, bro.
Now Silent Hill 2 looks fantastic. I've been trying to get Silent Hill the original to work, and everyone's like, just skip it, it's not worth going over it. I feel privileged that I have had brain surgeries and don't remember playing certain games. Like, I remember bits and pieces, but I forget. And so I can watch shows again, and it's like the first time. I can read books again. So I'm sure I will play Silent Hill 2, and it'll be like I never touched the original. They did change everything. I agree. It looks fantastic. I haven't looked at too much gameplay because I want to be surprised. But everything that I've seen looks brand spanking new to me. So I'm sure I'll love it. I'm on hiatus currently until my hands decide to start working. So
definitely understandable. Well, good deal. Well, I'm glad. Definitely. I have to say though, I'm surprised of the picks for this year's game of the year. It's so very different, I will say, because was not expecting it. Yes, definitely.
I will say I am going to play Silent Hill 2 on the big screen, my 75-inch. Sorry to interrupt you.
You got to.
I have to, but he's got to finagle some things for that to happen first. So
gotcha.
I will be doing that.
All right. Well, my game of the year, I'll probably say mine would probably be the most, probably the least amount of surprise for anyone here in this, here, because like this, I mean, I have played a ton of games this year, surprisingly enough. No. But the biggest thing is like the way I was kind of looking at it a little differently, because like I think I was kind of wanting to say which is the ones that were the most impactful of the games I did play, like, and especially games that brought me out of something that I normally am not. I don't usually play, and I think that if you're able to do that for me, I think that you definitely have to have some sort of like nod that you've done, like you were successful on it. Like if Call of Duty said, hey, it's like we brought Davis back on Blop since since the last time I played the Call of Duty was like Modern Warfare 2, you know. So I will definitely still say that, yeah. So, but yeah, if it's so in that in with that being said, there are 3 games definitely to it, and there's one that's like obvious because I can shut up about it. One of them, the number I would say, and this is going to be to the order. Number 3 is Helldivers 2, because like Helldivers 2,
Okay.
I like playing those kind of games, but it is very seldom that I would stay on for as long as I did. And like I clocked over 100 hours in that game in less than 3 months, in 2 months. And I think in that aspect of how much fun that you had, especially co-op, and the crazy shenanigans that happens, and ridiculous good clips that we that we got out of it for the beginning of the year was incredible. And then as always, Sony got into their own head and decided to mess up a good thing and decided to destroy that semi community for that short period of time. So but I loved it. I loved playing it with my friends. I loved just randomly just making fun of folks and stuff, and then just like doing some crazy moves and things. So yeah, so Helldivers 2 is definitely on my list this year. Number 2, and this is surprising to me because I've always said that it's kind of weird that for it to come depending on game releases, is like how's it on the contention ship, is Marvel Rivals. Like Marvel Rival, like, now I guess in a way in my mind is that I have played Marvel Rivals a lot earlier because of the beta, the alpha, and the interviews and stuff like that, and the access that we've had for it. But I would have to say, despite the fact that I'm not even looking at it in the because I am not a fan of Overwatch. I haven't been, and I definitely am not a fan of Blizzard. We've talked a lot about like the whole way how Overwatch 2 was a giant, just terrible crap piece of turd just laid out there. That was when it was released and stuff. But all that aside, the game day one, to not have any server issues for as big as that game came out at 400, like and mind you, this is just Steam numbers, mind you. So this is at 475,000 that came out in the first weekend. And then just by default, I'm negatively always when a game comes out and they have to depend on server space, and then like what's the thing that automatically happens, you're in a queue. You have to wait to get in. You get funneled in. It can sometimes take minutes, can sometimes takes hours. It's always a nightmare. That's why most people have that mentality of saying, just let it go. Just like, don't worry about the game when it comes out immediately. Just wait a couple of days or a day or so, and then you can get yourself in. The transition of just the servers itself was just incredible. Like you didn't have to wait. The queue times there was no queue times. There still isn't any queue times. And they controlled everything perfectly to the T when that game came out. Then on top of that, don't get me wrong, like you were saying earlier, Lex, yeah, the microtransactions are a little bit more expensive. In this case, I'm perfectly fine with that, because you're not paying a cent to play the game itself. They need to get their money somehow in some way, especially what they're doing. And then what they did in the game to identify themselves to being Marvel Rival is their own specific art style of their characters, and then what they're doing for what you're paying for on this. So I think just the whole traction, the above and beyond, and I guess for right now, we don't know, since it's only been a week. It's only been a week of its release, but they've been fairly transparent on what they've been going throughout their whole process of what's coming out. So until we probably see that one scandal that's going to come in a year that says like, oh, so and so's been mooning people in the meetings or some sort of bullshit. We don't know. So for right now, they've done a really good job, and then their community outreach is great. I mean, I haven't found a bad thing on it yet. And the game itself, overall, the game platform, and this is I'm not even talking about the game. I'm just talking about the whole overall outside community level of the game. The game itself is incredible, especially the hero shooter. I don't play hero shooters. I am not a hero shooter player in any sort of the mean, but I am having a fun time to do it, and it's making me want to think if I want to try to do things like competitive mode and things like that. So it definitely changed my outcome of wanting to play these kind of games. I mean, I did play paladins. I preferred paladins over Overwatch for a long time, but then again, you can only take so much of paladins. Don't shake your head. Don't you judge me, Smitty. Don't you dare judge me. So that dare you.
Judge you.
Yeah. Don't be that guy and you're just shaking your head in disgust. How dare you? So and then just in all those factors, like I had to put it in the list. I was like, okay, this is obviously the thing I had to go on. So Marvel Rivals is definitely my number 2. But my number 1 is, to no one's surprise, is Metaphor ReFantazio. It's actually kind of crazy because, like, dude, there were so many good games. I mean, like Astrobot
That's what I thought was going to be your number
very good one. Yeah, I mean, it was a fight at first.
No.
Dude, like, I was fighting. Well, the real thing is the fact that I think Rivals had to bump something off, and it would have been Astrobot originally, I think. So, like, but Metaphor ReFantazio was is the go-to. It wasn't even close to me. Like the like the thing I do play are RPGs. I love RPGs. I love the systems and stuff like that, and I definitely love how much time that you can invest and check on and then play in it. And then the way that they refined their system in general of like it's still like, I mean, has a Persona feel for the most part, but they've refined that battle system so well. The organization, the customizations of like, you know, what you can do with your characters, you can change your job classes. That's another thing. If you want me to play your game, you have to give me a good job class system, because I love changing out job classes and seeing how things go and things work. And was like I could literally spend hours, which I did. I spent over 170 hours right now clocked in that game. So love the game though. The one of my favorite RPGs and stories, and the characters. I have never, it's been a long time to be an RPG fan and like almost everybody in your whole squad. Like there's only one person. Like it's kind of 50-50. Yeah, it's so tough because, you know, you always have that A squad, B squad, and like, you know, but you can go, you can mix and match. It doesn't even matter, because you have so much control of like what you want your characters to be. And it's just a matter of like if you love or hate them, you know. I think they did a really good job making you care for each of those characters and then their backstories and how they introduced you into wanting you to care. You know, that whole deal is just very, very, very great experience of it. And in the job classes, like I said, like I cannot say anything bad about it. About it. Yeah, Smitty had to head out because I know Smitty had to go for work, but that's cool. But so obviously Metaphor ReFantazio is my favorite, is my game of the year. Now, the worst game of the year for me, and it's actually kind of funny because I've been kind of debating on this. I'm still kind of 50-50. There was a lot of downsides, but I guess the big thing, the easier one, is the game as a service. Services is what makes it an easy pull. It's a tie between Suicide Squad was awful, just utterly
I forgot
awful.
about that game.
Yeah, exactly. For good reason. For good reason, Pop.
Years ago, not
for
this year.
good reason. Suicide Squad was just, God, it was so terrible. It was weird. I would have to say it would have to be between Suicide Squad and Foam Stars was one that was just like, it doesn't even make any sense. But
oh yeah,
I would
Foam Stars.
Yeah, it's so easy to forget these games, and that's what's worse. And what's funny is that you would think I would say Concord, which is interesting, but Concord wasn't bad, I would say. Now, don't get me wrong. The way I'm saying it sounds like it isn't that I was a fan of it. I was not a fan of it, but Concord, as like mechanic wise, and like it was actually fun to play, but it just didn't make any sense on why you would want to put any money, or like the characters were just weird. It just felt like these people came from thrift shops, and then they're just like, okay, you're in space now, that kind of deal, that kind of level of deal. Yeah, exactly. Like there was a guy that was literally wearing like a Starter Fila jacket like in that game. Yeah, so no, like, but so you would think it would be Concord, but no, Concord was not a bad game. It's just it wasn't it wasn't a well-defined game. Let's call it, let's go to that point.
Yeah.
I would say, but Suicide Squad all in all was just a bad game. Like it was just not like it it just didn't click at all for me, or the style or whatever. And then they also burned bridges while they did it. Like, I mean, like the thing that really kind of breaks my heart is that they intertwined the Arkham Asylum series to be a part of the canon of this game. And I'm just like, why would you do that?
Right.
Like, why would you decide? You went out your way to be like, oh, the Batman that you've been playing for the past 10 years, yeah, he got killed, he got gunned down by Harley Quinn. It's like, what? It's like, it's just like, what the frick is that? Like, yeah, I mean, that's just hard thing. But then what was worse was their plan for DLC when they did the Joker pack, when they released the Joker pack. No one needs to worry about spoilers. This game needs to be told that, because no one's not going to spend their time and their money on this game whatsoever. So it was like just the whole thing with like the Joker pack, and then what they were the that you had to earn your way to get into the extra stories when you paid for it is weird. Like, it was completely weird to me. And like I gave it about 4 hours, and I was just like, I just can't. This is, I didn't care. They didn't captivate me. So I will say Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was the worst one of 2024 for me, for the most part. So, man, it's crazy. Haseo says Foamstar was fun. It was different, but it died. Yeah, they officially shutting down the servers early next year. So, I mean,
well, they're not having any updates. They're just re-rolling each battle pass.
Well, yeah, oh, you're right. So basically, I thought they were just moving it to offline mode. Like they actually have an offline version of it that they were planning on releasing it, right? Or because like
I'm not sure. Yeah, I just know that they're not doing any more new updates in January, and they're just gonna re-roll the battle passes.
Yeah, but that's a bigger issue with Square in itself when they release these games, because they don't do it. Like they just throw them out. They don't
Square
give them.
Should have focused on Dragon Quest 12 instead of Foamstar. It's gonna leave it at that.
They could have focused. They put like it was quite clear what Square was doing. They put all their marketing and then their stuff on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and then when it was all said and done, they still fell behind. It still wasn't the smashing success that they were expecting it to be. Like they still
they're having this huge money problem while ignoring their other, like their main flagship title, and then their other flagship title that people are waiting on.
Right? Yeah, it's so weird, like how Square is releasing all this, like when they release all these weird, but then when they release the game,
they don't want money.
Well, I don't even know if it's odd, because like when the game comes out, for instance, I mean, maybe it's because it's a smaller studio, I don't know, but like when the game comes out, people are hyped, like, okay, so and so is coming out, we're gonna promote it at least. Square just released the game, like for instance, Vision of Mana. Good game. It was a good game, but then
marketing.
But there was no marketing for it. And then what was the answering call? The answer for that, they shut down the studio that created Visions of Mana. Like not even.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they shut the studio out before they released the game, when the game was officially released. Which was, it's a mess. It's like, I don't even, and that was like, that game just came out of nowhere, came out of the blue, as always, no marketing whatsoever. And then they were like, okay, it's out in the ether. So, what's it called? The romancing series, the saga, I want to say Saga Frontier, but it's a new romancing saga. I believe it's like Romance Saga 5 or something. That's another game that just came out last month. Same thing. No one knows what that series is. And it's the 5th one. It's like no one knows it. And I'm just, I never understood why Square releases the way that they release it, because they just release games to come out and die. I mean, I don't know what they're expecting. Like, if people are gonna just hop on to their own personal merits on it. But anyways, I don't know. I digress. Square doesn't know what they're doing when it comes to this stuff. And then the money that they do put on marketing on their giant AAA games, it does a lot less than what they're expecting it to be, which is so funny to me. So funny to me that they would go with it.
Meanwhile, you have some games that don't get, like the Kiwami on the Switch had little to no marketing, and Yokoyama came out and was like, I was not expecting this many people to buy the game on the Switch.
Oh yeah,
He was just like, this went way above our predicted numbers, and only one person predicted the right amount of numbers.
really? Wow. So I knew there was it's smashing. It's a smashing success on the Switch. Probably because this is like, well, unless you have a Steam Deck, that was the best way you can play it portably, especially a Yakuza game. A straight up like, did you pick up? Do you have a Switch? I don't know if you.
I do have a Switch.
Have you tried Yakuza on Switch? Just.
I'm so scared too because I know it might go boom like the Millennium Tower, but I'm so tempted to do it.
I think you just got to. You got to go by just the curiosity because, like, I don't know how that game is running on this, like on the
I've seen
Switch.
some people say it runs pretty well. There's some issues every now and then, but it's expected because it is the Switch, and some people aren't running it on the OLED. They're running it on the day one Switch.
Wow,
So.
Yeah, I have a day one Switch too, and I'm just like this.
Same.
You too, Alex. Yeah.
I believe so. Because I didn't purchase OLED, so I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that that's what I got.
Did y'all even say
it day one? But
yeah. Well, we know Gen 1 to Gen 2. It's quite clear. Yeah. It's actually kind of funny to me when I think about it because it's like, and that's where I'm at a weird turning point right now because Switch 2 comes out next year. I don't know if I want to buy it like at all. Like I don't know if I care enough for Nintendo IPs for me to be like, yeah, I want to get it because now the choice is either that or a Steam Deck. It's like
that is true.
Yeah, it's like because like is there any like am I going to lose any sleep on the fact that I won't be able to play Mario Party or like the exclusives on Nintendo? I've been trying to think to myself, like, is there really anything that I really care about? Maybe Pokemon, I guess, but
I know for me it's a lot of their third parties. A lot of indie titles are more likely to come out on the Switch than PC, Xbox, or PlayStation. And then like if I'm playing an indie title, I'm not going to want to sit at my desk all day. Sometimes I want to play in bed, and the Switch is my best option at that point.
That's true, but what's an indie title that's on Switch that's not on Steam? I mean,
I'd have to look and see, but
yeah. Please come back to me on that because that like I'm trying to find a reason to get a Switch, Switch 2, because like
right
I don't
now,
know.
The new Super Monkey Ball, you have to have a Switch to play it. RGG has not said anything about putting it on other platforms.
Well, that's weird that they would not release it on any other platform. Maybe it's exclusive deal. I don't know. I mean, if you can wait, I don't know. But are you willing to spend the money to play Super Monkey Ball on the brand new system? It's the question.
Absolutely. I don't know how long my Switch is gonna last.
Oh no, that would be
set
funny.
them up to blow up on all of us, so who knows?
That is true. Who knows? It's very interesting. Haseo says it was EA killed Wild Hearts. That was my game of the year last year, but EA killed that. Yeah, no, it sucks. But hey, listen,
that was so sad, and Wild Hearts was so fun.
It was so fun. I just really wish that they were able to that they kept it up even longer. I introduced Callista to it, and Callista loved it, which is surprising because that's not even her bag for the most part. But hey, listen, Haseo, 3 months, we got Monster Hunter coming. And so you will not need to worry about the Wild Hearts. So just put your head down. Just wait till February, and then it will come soon enough. Then we're just going to destroy that game. That's what's going to happen. I'm already thinking of all the outfits I'm going to dress my cat. So there you go. So we all set. Oh man, but folks, thank you for listening to episode number 347. Oh, not 347, 247 of the CFG Gamecast. Thank you for being a part of the conversation as always. This is our last episode of 2024. So we will be back again sometime in mid-January with a whole new set of different topics and some new changes that's going to be happening here in the near future. So, but that's awesome. We definitely appreciate you to stop by. And like I said before, if you have a game of the year, we want to know. So just type it, go inside the comments in our YouTube page, the CFG, and type your game of the year picks personally and why, as always. But if you did miss out on this episode, that is perfectly okay. We do release it at the beginning of each and every Monday of the week. So there is absolutely no reason to miss out on all sexy voices.
Ooh.
It's just not the same. There's just no bass with
I know.
Smitty. But it's always great. But also guys, be sure to check out our website, confreaksandgeeks.com, for the latest updates of things that we're going to be doing here in the near future. We got some special things that are going to be happening in 2025, which I cannot wait to discuss here with you. Once I'm at liberty to say, we are going to be smashing it on next year. So guys, this is Davis, Lex, and Pop signing out. Y'all take it easy.
Bye.
Yeah.